help this heart of mine. I've been desperately trying to find a way to prove that I'm still alive. As the love I speak so loudly of quietly won't go. The first thing that most people want to know about when they hear Big Daddy Weave is, what the heck is Big Daddy Weave? Like, why would you call something Big Daddy Weave? And, you know, the cool thing is that this is not a radio interview, so, you know, a picture's worth 1,000 words, and if you're my size in the South, you instantly are Big Daddy. That's how it's always been. You know, hey, Big Daddy, you know, it's nobody even needs to know your name, pretty much. My last name is Weaver. We were in college at the time, all 5 of us from Big Daddy Weave, at the University of Mobile, around good old Mobile, Alabama, a little Baptist school down there. And we put together a jam for the first time, and literally within 15 minutes, because we had Joseph, who plays sax for us, in there. Dave Matthews was like really prevalent back in 1998, and so somebody heard us playing and came by and said, man, you guys, we need you to open for this other group across campus. And we're like, sweet, dude, we've only been together like 15 minutes and, you know, we've already got our first gig. And then they asked the question, they're like, well, dude, what do we put on the flyer? What do you call yourselves? Like, we've only been together for a minute, you know? And so we were just kidding around, and I said, man, tell them that we're Big Daddy Weave. It was this, you know, fusion of these nicknames I'd had growing up. And since then, you know, I wish we could go back in time and pray and ask God. You know, we could have called ourselves Mercy Me, maybe. We could have called ourselves Casting Crowns. Who knows? But no, we had to be cute about it. And so this is going on 16 years later, still answering the question weekly. Bring your love to life inside of me, yeah. Come on, break my heart till it moves my hands and feet. Oh, the hopeless, the broken, oh, the ones that don't know that you love them. Bring your love to life inside of me. Oh, singing love come to life, love come. We grew up in church. My mom and dad were not musicians. My dad always really loved music, though. Some of my earliest memories as just, I mean, not much more than a baby, was remember feeling as much as hearing the vibrations off my daddy's chest when he held me, you know, swaying to the music that he's playing and singing. And my dad was never a pastor, but he held every other position in church that you can have without being a pastor. And he finally graduated to custodial duties. And I remember my dad, you know, vacuuming the church and singing to God. And some of my favorite memories about where we come from in music and what music really needs to be about for us. It's never been about something other than God. You know, it's never been about a career. We didn't know you could have a career doing this, you know. I can't believe today that we get to play music and sing about Jesus. He's the most important thing to us. We get to do that, and we get to do that for a living, man. What a great thing to get to do what you love. The song Redeemed, I didn't even really turn it in. My friend Benji Cowart wrote that with me. Came at the end of a season of life. I'd been a self-hater for as long as I could remember. I never even really knew how to give voice to that. I just knew I didn't feel good about myself. And I had an encounter with my garage where God literally said, you need to let me tell you what I think about you. And he just began to flood my heart and my mind with stuff that the creator of the universe likes about me. And he showed me that me hating myself when he loves me so much is like telling him that I know better than him about something. And by the way, that is never true if you ever think that. After that day in my garage, just really experiencing the love of God in a special way, we wrote the song Redeemed. And when Benji my friend, he was a worship leader in Buffalo, New York for years, had begun using it in his church. Called me and said, "Weave, have you showed anybody this song?" And I said, "No, I haven't. I thought that song was just for me." And he said, "Well, you need to." And so when we started playing it, man, God just began to use it. And literally we have stories from all over the world. Retired Army generals who've given their heart to God, and people who have come off the street, man. People who had been used and abused and torn up and hurt and hated themselves or had other people hate them so much that it just left that mark on them. And Redeemed just became this anthem for so many people.
Seems like all I could see was the struggle. Haunted by ghosts that lived in my past. Bound up in shackles of all my failures. Wondering how long is this gonna last? Then you look at this prisoner and say to me, "Son, stop fighting a fight that's already been won. And I am redeemed. You set me free. So I'll shake off these heavy chains, wipe away every stain. Now I'm not who I used to be, 'cause I am redeemed."
Moving to Nashville for me, everybody else, that's kind of in their plans as a musician. I used the N-word. I said never. I will never go to Nashville, because I felt like the music business was kind of this conflict, in motive about, what we were about. And I said I would never go. And then, like in all really awesome stories, there's a beautiful girl, and Hurricane Ivan hit the Gulf Coast in 2004, took away our home. I was left homeless, had a great friend up here who I never thought I had a shot with in the world, Candace Kirkham at the time. And man, I married way above my league, Within 4 months of losing our home on the Gulf Coast in Pensacola, I was engaged, and then 5 months after that, we were married. And man, baby number 1, baby number 2, number 3, right here in Nashville, Tennessee, where I never said you want to go. So if you don't want to go somewhere and you want to go there quickly, then say you're never going to go there. Yeah, McPherson guitars. We toured years ago. One of the first tours we ever went on was a group called FFH, and they had these, to me at the time, these odd-looking guitars. I'm like, look, there's the sound holes in the wrong place, man, on these guitars. Like, what's up with that? And then, and I was using a different guitar at the time, and I was like, I had this great pickup system and all these things that I loved, and kind of celebrated and kind of, pshaw towards other instruments. And I remember, man, I would chronically break strings all the time. And for the next literally 5 or 7 years of my life, there was situation after situation where I'd be on a stage somewhere, we would break a string and somebody would hand me their guitar. And, literally 4 or 5 times it was a McPherson. And I'm like, it doesn't have a microphone in there. It doesn't have a whatever, but I plugged it in. It sounds instantly amazing in my ears. I'm like, I know every time we encounter these guitars, it's incredible. And so I talked to Larry at McPherson, and man, they have been nothing but great to us. And I love playing these, these guitars on stage every single night. And we answer the question all the time, what is that thing? You know, what is it's man, just play it here, just play it for a minute. Oh my gosh, you know, it's incredible. They sound great, they're amazing. I love this now. The oddly placed sound hole, to me, I was like, all of a sudden, I've been playing for all these years over where the sound comes from, you know? And now we've got this direct path, and even micing it up in the studio is such a different kind of experience with these guitars. I love them a lot. And I love the people and what they stand for a lot too. And so it's a wonderful thing, a huge blessing in our life to be part of the McPherson family.
'Cause I am redeemed.